In this lesson, we're going to be learning to play the song Gee, I'm a Drummer, and I'm going to teach you about the rhythm values that we need in order to play this piece. In the first lesson, we learned about the staff, and in the second lesson, we learned about the treble clef and the notes G and middle C. We did see in our most recent piece of music, Google Maps, a note that looked like this one, and I told you that you should hold it for 4. So I'm going to demonstrate now how to play a note and hold it for 4 in case you've forgotten lesson 2, and it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, off. So I played a note and I held it for 4. This note is called a whole note, and a whole note takes a whole measure in 4/4 time in the standard time signature that we're going to talk about in an upcoming lesson. But for now, just know that if you see a note that has a whole but no stem, that is called a whole note. So it's a whole note, and it holds for a whole measure, which is 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we're looking at this piece of music, we can see that there are different types of notes besides just this whole note. Another type of note we can use is a half note. This is a half note, and a half note is worth half as much time as a whole note. So if a whole note is worth 4, how many do you think for a half note? 2 beats. You're right. 1, 2. So here I have 2 half notes. 1, 2, and 1, 2. So now I'm going to find it on the piano and play it. Is there any note at all? Because I haven't placed these on a staff. So here I go. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I held the first one for 2 counts, and I held the next one also for 2 counts. Another type of note that we're going to see in this piece is called a quarter note. So if a half note takes half as much time as a whole note, how much time do you think a quarter note will take? A quarter of the time. You're right. So each one of these quarter notes is only going to hold for 1 count. So I will now play 4 quarter notes. Here I go. 1, 1, 1, 1. I held each note for 1 count. So let's have a look at these rhythms in the lesson worksheet that comes with your lesson package. So here it says a quarter note holds for 1 count. Draw your own. So I'm going to draw a circle and color it in, and then I'm going to draw a stem that points up, and it's going to look like the letter D. It doesn't look like a lollipop. It doesn't look like a B. The stem goes up on the right hand side. You can draw quarter notes with down stems, and the way they would look would be a colored in note with the stem going down on the left like a letter P. And in fact, if you just rotate your note around from the D position into the other side, it's exactly the same shape. It's just been flipped around. And now it says to draw your own half note. A half note holds for 2 counts. Draw your own. So I'll draw a circle and a stem on the right side for an up stem, or if I needed a down stem, it would go to the left. We don't need any down stems in this piece, but I'm just showing you because lots of people ask me these kinds of questions. All right, next we have a whole note, and I will explain to you in a future lesson why we might need a down stem. So be on the lookout for that piece of information. And a whole note is just a hole, just a circle. You don't have to make the fancy edges when it's written on printed music. It's using like a calligraphy pen, so there's a thicker edge on 2 different sides here. But don't worry about that. So now let's look at this piece called Gee, I'm a Drummer. And first let's look at the notes. So here I have a note on the second line of treble clef. And you remember from lesson 2 that that note is treble G. And let's keep looking. Line 2, 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 line. These are all G's. Let's look at the next line. Line 2, line 2, line 2, line 2, line 2, all G's again. All right, so the reason I did this was I wanted to focus on the rhythm and not think too much about the notes. So I did not want to incorporate different notes. I want you really thinking about the rhythm. But now what we're going to do is we're going to think about how long to hold each of these notes. So I've written the number 1 underneath each of these quarter notes. And then under this half note, I'm going to write 1, 2, because it holds for 2. And I'll write 1, 2 under this next half note, because it also holds for 2. And then I'll write the numbers 1 underneath each of these quarter notes. And how many beats does a whole note hold for? It holds for 4. So I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you should get out your pencil and do this along with me. So pause the video if you haven't been doing so already, and I will wait right here while you get out your pencil and do that first line. Looking at the second line, we're going to do the same thing. We have a quarter note, 1 beat, 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 and now we're in the next box. We have a quarter note, 1 beat, a quarter note, 1 beat, a half note. How many beats for a half note? 2 beats. And 4 more quarter notes, 1 beat each. And then what kind of note is this? Takes the whole measure. It's a whole note. How many beats? 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can think of a whole dollar has 4 quarters. So this whole note holds for 4 quarters, the same amount of time as each of these 1 beat notes. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to clap this rhythm. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to clap 4 quarters. Here I go. 1, 1, 1, 1. And now I'm going to clap 2 half notes. Now watch how I do this. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just moving my hand to the side while I count that second beat. Just gives me something to do and emphasizes the fact that I'm holding my hands together. Don't do this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Because later I'm going to show you that this means something else when we're clapping in music. Next measure, 4 quarter notes. 1, 1, 1, 1. Notice that I'm keeping a steady beat and I'm counting out loud. When we count in music, we always count out loud. This is so important. If we count in our heads, we don't always notice if we stop counting or count a little slower or faster. But if you're counting out loud, you will notice. And then let's clap this last whole note, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, let's try clapping the whole first line. Ready, go. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that I didn't stop in between the different groups. I kept my beat counting steadily. Now let's try the next line. Same thing, saying the numbers, and we're going to not stop in between. Now, it's okay if you do. If you need to think, obviously you should stop and think, but then you should circle the part that gave you trouble and go back over that all by itself. So let's start from here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these lines that go through the music, I'll talk about those a little bit more in a future lesson, but they help us to group the notes into little teams of notes. So every time you see the team, maybe you could just grab all those in your mind and go, there's 4 of them. So right here, 1, 1, 1, 1. And while I'm busy clapping that team, I should be looking at this next team and going, oh, it's nice, it's got 2 quarters and then a half. So I'm thinking ahead to this next team while I clap it. So now I'll clap that team. 1, 1, looking ahead. Team has 4, looking. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once I know what the team is, I can start to clap it and look ahead to the next one. If you're finding it's tricky, slow down. It's okay if you clap it this slowly. 1, 1, 1, 1. No one's setting up the expectation for how fast this should be except for you, and you want to get it right. So now we're going to play the piece, but we're going to check the fingering. So looking at the very beginning, it says to put finger 2 on G. So I can do that. 2, G, just like this. Now I'm going to scan along here for a minute and see that there's another finger number written. It says a 3. But if I look at this 3, it's still on G. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my 2 that's curved and resting on G, and I'm taking it off that note, and I'm moving to finger 3 to play these notes, because there's no other finger number written, so I'm going to stay there. Then on the next line, I notice there's another G. I knew that, but it's got a finger 2 on it again. So I'm going to take my 3 and replace it with a finger 2. And I'm going to play this team of notes with finger 2, And when I get to the next team, I'm going to replace it with finger 3. And when I get to the next team, I'm going to replace it with finger 4. And when I get to this last team, I'm going to go back to finger 3 again. So I'm just going to circle these finger numbers. And this is why it's so important that you already can count and clap these rhythms with no trouble, because we're now going to practice changing the fingerings. So let's just try changing the fingerings here on the tabletop without playing. So it goes like this: 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Notice how I stretched out the word to hold for 2 pulses, making it almost 2 syllables. 2. Now I'm here, switching to 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm on number 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. All right, now I lifted up my fingers a little bit like this. I was doing that to help you see which finger I was playing. When you're playing piano, it's important to try just to move between the fingers without actually lifting up the other ones. You're not trying to videotape yourself playing this so someone can learn. So now I'm ready to play it. I found G with my finger 2, and I'm going to count the pulses. And every time I see a different finger number, I'm going to hop my hand over. So here I go from the beginning, and I'm going to name, I'm going to say the finger numbers. Here I go. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. Excellent. So you should practice this until you can do it without trouble. Now, we did this in 3 stages. The first stage was the counting and clapping, count and clap, and we counted out loud. The second stage was to play it on the tabletop while thinking about the changes for fingers. And the third stage was to actually play it on the piano with the correct fingers and keeping the rhythm steady. So if any of these earlier steps was a little bit tricky, you should make sure that you practice that one again. And anytime you need to, just slow it down so that you can concentrate. Like this: 2, 2, 2, 2. Hold for 2. 1, 2. Switch. 3, 3, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I counted slowly even on the easy notes. I made sure I didn't go faster or slower depending on if it was easy or hard. All right, so please practice this piece, G, I'm a Drummer, until you can play it easily. And in lesson number 4, I'm going to give you a finger gym to help increase your coordination in your right and left hands. So come on back to lesson number 4. Everything you need is up here in the corner, linked in to pianovideolessons.com. Thanks for watching.